I'm just waking up for the day, and I don't know what time it is for you as you're tuning into today's House to House, but I was thinking today about how we may try to carve out some time to spend with God, to read some scripture, and to maybe journal or read the newspaper or start our day by hearing God's voice in some way. And that time that we set aside for many of us is really an important part of the day. For me, I try to do that at the beginning of the day, let it set the tone. But sometimes it's the temptation is to compartmentalize that and let that be just for that moment. I was reading in one of the books a devotional that I really love from Henry Nouwen, where he was talking in today's devotional about God pitching his tent among us. And that the perfect love in the book of John, John writes about the perfect love that Jesus has for us, and that it creates a home for us that's not a physical home or a place or a time, but it's this perfect love that reminds us that God goes with us wherever we go, that God has literally pitched his tent wherever we are. In the book of Joshua, the Israelites right now, this week, as we read, are receiving their inheritance in the promised land. And Joshua is doling out different parcels of land to different tribes. And in today's, Caleb is pleading for his peace. He said, I've been following through the desert for these 40 years, and I spied out the land for God, and he gets his inheritance too. I was thinking about how we take what we've learned, and it's so important to walk with that throughout the day. Sometimes people will ask me, Brett, what do you do with your day? Well, you'll get to get a little bit of a glimpse of that today. And so today I want to do House to House just a little bit different, and I'll just take little glimpses of sort of a day in the life, and maybe try to remember throughout the day that God goes with me, and to share that with you as we go, and try to remember a little bit of this wisdom from the book of Joshua, that God is always giving us our inheritance at each point of the day, and that we have to look for it. We have to be aware and attentive to what God is doing, and not just at one moment or one place in our day. Sending a reminder to our life group about meeting tonight, and responding to a couple of emails. Zoom meeting number 1 about our summer mission trip coming up this summer. Playing a quick game of fours with my daughter. Trying to keep up with my wife on a run. Hey, having a conversation with a friend, talk about what God's doing in our lives. Doesn't get any better than that. I'm here with the family ministry team, and Kathy Halo just shared a great devotional about perseverance and optimism, of which this team has had a lot of this past year, and always continue to be encouraged by their optimism and perseverance. It's interesting walking through my day, trying to remember at each step of the way to take you along with me. Now I'm just in my office and getting some emails taken care of, making some preparations for some groups this week and for worship on Sunday. And I'm amazed at how when I'm paying attention to it, the places that I naturally allow God to pitch his tent, and places where I naturally do not, and that takes more effort and intentionality to pitch my own tent next to God and to say, I want to do this together. I want to be part of this. I want to allow God to live. I want you to live in the space that I occupy at this spot or the other, whether I'm driving or talking or whatever I happen to be doing at various parts of my day. I'm on Zoom right now because on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I have office hours at which anyone can tune in and touch base on Zoom. That only happens about a quarter of the time, but I try to make that known that people can find me there. Pretty quiet at the moment, so I will continue working on some things. Here we go. I'm here with a few parents on a parents' meeting and learning all I can about parenthood from these fine parents. So wave, everybody. Say hi. There you go. Hey, wave. This is my final Zoom meeting of the day, thankfully. And I end it well with some of my good friends from my life group here who are always show how God is working in our lives. And so grateful for friends like that. Now I am finally hitting home for a late dinner. Probably one of my favorite times of the night to be able to just share a meal with my family. But I do want to say at the end of this, it's been kind of a humbling experience to really think throughout the day about the ways that I am allowing God to call the time and space that I'm occupying holy ground, or the promised land that he's offering to us. And I really find that I need to think a little bit more about some of those places in which God has invited me into, and I simply haven't stepped because I want to do my own thing. But it's also been really good to, at each moment of my day, think about how God might be leading me into it. Thanks for tuning in and following me around during this day, and have a great evening. Peace of Christ be with you.